Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WTF Walk the Floors. Thank you for being here again. Whether you're watching this or you are listening to this, we're excited to have you back. We have an awesome topic today since we just wrapped up Travel and Tourism Week. So, Stephanie,
Yeah.
I cannot wait to hear from you. Any specific stories happening in Miami during this week?
Oh, we're just breaking more records here with our hotel, our airports, our train, you name it, planes, trains, automobiles, and cruises. We had a fantastic week in the tourism. I mean, hotels on the beach. If you have $10,000, you could get into one of the presidentials, or $3,000 for a dinner at a restaurant. It was crazy. We just were celebrating also too with Formula One having their inaugural race here in Miami. So it was a great week to having a big event and some great tourism of seeing the tourists back here as well in Miami.
I bet it was fantastic. And it's always great to hear how our industry is finally coming back, right? Not that
Yes.
Miami always seems like there is no COVID in Miami, right? But it's great to hear that ADR is going up and that we're looking healthier these days. So that's just
Ab-
great. There's so much that Miami has to offer.
Absolutely. And then also too of, having those conversations in other cities like Las Vegas or New York or LA, San Francisco of saying, look, this is what we're seeing with the guest demand that's changing, what their expectations are, and, having those conversations with each other to being like, hey, be prepared because we are slowing down. If there is a slow time in Miami, we're getting ready for it, and but that's great for the other cities that they're starting their season where we can really be able to saying, hey, this is what we've been experiencing for the last 6 months with the travel and tourism here in Miami.
Yeah, that's great. And I think we should probably do one episode where we do a little bit of that. And here's the thing, during 2020, end of 2020, beginning of 2021, you could see a lot of people, especially on LinkedIn, getting together, doing lives where you had different professionals from the industry in various
Hmm.
aspects from the industry speaking about what is happening on one side of the country and how the other side of the country should be preparing for it. There was a lot of that conversation happening, and I think that has stopped a little bit. So maybe we put some thought into that and have a quick interview where I can ask some questions on how you can educate us on the West Coast of what is going on the East, and we can be prepared for that. So anyways, let's
Yes.
go back to our agenda, which is travel and tourism. So I love the stories that have to do with airlines.
Yes.
Airlines. And here's the thing, sometimes airlines forget about hospitality, and you forget that
Yes.
you're in the hospitality industry. You're still providing a service, you're still in the hospitality industry. So, how about, Stephanie, you share with us a story of one of these episodes during one of your travels that have to do with an airline?
Oh, yes. And the thing is too, it's, with customer service, but then also to the technology. Sometimes the technology is too smart that causes actually more mistakes. Like my situation where here I was ending an assignment and getting ready to go on vacation to Ireland. And I was so excited. And so, how my flight pattern was is I was having to connect through Charlotte to then go to Miami because that was the end of my assignment. And then on the next day, I was going to be flying from Miami to Charlotte to then going off to Ireland. So on the Friday night, there was a bad rainstorm. And so that was causing all kinds of delays and cancellations with my flight. So I said, you know what? I have to be back here anyways in 12 hours. I might as well just stay here and then I'll go on my flight to Ireland the following day. So I talked to the airline and they're like, okay, no problem. And I was like, I do have checked luggage. I just want to let you know. And they're like, no, we'll be pulling it out for everyone else because no one's going anywhere, basically.
Right.
Well, somehow mine made it to Miami. I don't know how, but probably just baggers just scanning and, being like, okay, it's going to Miami. And maybe they're at midnight, or maybe they're at 4 in the morning, or maybe on a cargo flight. Who knows how it got there to Miami? Anyway, so it's there. And so then I called the office in Miami and was like, "Hey, is my luggage like sitting out there? And where is it?" They're like, "Yes, we see it." I'm like, "Okay, well, can you put it on the next flight back to Charlotte because I'm not there and I need it to go to Ireland. And I'm still in my work attire as well. So it's not even like I'm in some comfy clothes and lounging around."
And you would
No,
think
I
that we
was
would learn by now, right? Like carry
I know.
something in your purse or in your carry-on.
Yes, and
I
this
get
is
it.
also too where I was, like, extensively traveling, so I had all of my suitcases packed the way that I needed it because heavy items needed to be with me, so I wouldn't have to pay on the overweight, so all my clothes, since those are the light things, would be in my checked-in. Oh, yes. Anyways, so then they're like, "Yes, we have a flight that's, leaving." It was, like, at 11 in the morning, and then it would get to Charlotte, like, around 12:30, 1 o'clock. I was like, "Okay, great, because 'cause I'm not flying to Ireland until 7 p.m." So I then wait around the, airport because I'm like, "Okay, it's gonna be here." So I go down as if, like, I was flying the flight, and then I see everyone collect their luggage, and mine's not there.
Oh no.
So yes, all hell broke loose. You think I'm a happy-go-lucky person all the time? This is what I'm like, you
It's your
realize you lost.
children. For anyone who
Yes.
hasn't watched or listened to our last episode, which was all about Mother's Day, Stephanie broke to us the fact that she doesn't have children, but she has three pieces of luggage, and those are
Yeah,
her babies. So
yes.
this is very, very emotional right now. Okay.
Exactly. Here I am leaving the country and I can't leave my baby behind and all of my clothes of everything that I own. So I then called them back and I was like, WTF, where's my luggage? And they're like, oh, sorry, we don't know what happened. We're putting it on the next flight. The next flight's leaving in a half hour and it should get there by like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, you better make sure that it's on that flight. So then I go and hang around the airport some more. And now the flight's coming in, go down to baggage claim, see everyone getting their luggage. And for the second time, my luggage isn't there.
Oh no.
So then now all hell really broke loose of WTF that I was like, here I am. I'm not even going to have luggage going to Ireland. I basically have a dress and a cardigan that I'm wearing. So I know I'm already going to be freezing on the plane and can't even like be comfortable for an overnight red eye. So then get to Ireland and I had to wait another 24 hours until the suitcase finally arrived and I was reunited. But then here, the story of it all and stuff is like here we are having the communication. They're telling me one thing. They're making me feel like okay, this is actually happening because they're like saying, yes, we're doing it. And then they just keep dropping the ball. And so it's like, are you saying that just to get me off of the phone and really you don't know where my luggage is? And you're actually making a situation bigger by not on being honest on the conversation.
Seriously. And again, airlines tend to forget
Yeah.
that they are in the hospitality industry. You're there to provide a service. You're not
Yes.
just, just like a piece of something that gets transported from one place to the other. So we always see this crazy amount of opportunities that are being missed by the airlines. And there's a lot of
Yeah.
airlines that nowadays are truly investing in leadership training and
Hmm.
training from a hospitality perspective, which I cherish that, and I think that's fantastic, really, because it's enhancing the service that they're able to provide. But how they are not, some of them are not training their team members on how to deal with that situation, or what are you doing, what's the map flow, if this
Yeah,
happens, what needs to happen next, right? Do they have some sort of SOP to resolve the service failure and honestly take care of it, so a, your guest or your client is satisfied with what's happening and you can lower the level of anxiety? And B, what are we doing to prevent this from happening in the future? And how many transportation companies, whether it's air or water, or it's
mhm,
by rail or wheels, that they don't think about their business this way. They don't look at their business from the perspective of the service and the hospitality and the
exactly.
being genuine. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
And really all
So
the technical side of stuff. They look at it more on the technical and not knowing the engagement and then that you need to not rely on the computer all the time.
absolutely. And here's the other thing, there are so many options out there.
Yes.
It's just like a hotel. You can stay at any hotel in that same location. You could pretty much fly any airline, or you could get on, maybe trains are more limited, right? Because it's more monopolized, but you can pretty much ride any, there's many options for rental cars, for example, right? Or different types of ride share. So there are opportunities out there, and we're just not taking them in that
Yeah.
side of the industry, right? So I want to share, since you're on this topic of losing luggage, I want to share not a WTF moment, but an actual walk the floor type of moment. And here is why. Many moons back, I took a flight to Paris. And when I get there, it was just so crazy. My biggest fear was for my luggage not to arrive. And I get there, my luggage is not there. And you see all these bags going around, and yours is not there. And you finally go to the one area where the bags are there, and yours is still not there. So I went in, I spoke with the people in the luggage booth and explained the situation. I let them know where I was staying and so on. And they not only dressed me in all sorts of, I'm sorry, I apologize, this should have never happened, this is what we're gonna do to make it work for you, here's some information, this is my phone, we are gonna call your hotel, let them know that we're bringing it over. It was incredible, the level of hospitality and the level of training that team member had from that particular airline to troubleshoot on this service failure was truly impeccable.
Mhm.
Impeccable. Not only that, but he sent me back to my hotel with a bag, cute, super cute looking bag, with all the amenities that I would need to freshen up, pajama pants, and a t shirt. I will never forget that. This was many moons back.
Wow.
I don't even know if the airline is still around, but this was incredible, right? Like truly genuine service. And my luggage arrived that same day towards the evening, close to nighttime. The hotel was already advised. They took it up to my room immediately because they knew I was. And all of this was dealt with between the airline and the hotel. I didn't have to worry about a thing. It was truly, truly amazing. So how, the same way you still remember that bad experience, I still remember this memorable experience, and
Mhm.
what a great taste it leaves in our mouths to have a memorable experience and remember those great things instead of the poor service or the lack of being
Exactly.
able to recover from a service failure. So
Yeah.
it's quite interesting how we don't take those opportunities. Stephanie, what
Yeah.
is, I know there's another story or two there that you can probably share. I know I have one for sure that has to do with airlines again, But how about you enlighten us with one more?
Yeah, so with the traveling, there's so much that along the journey of with the guest expectations and what they're communicating. So, all right, so they get to the hotel and the airline loses their luggage. Now what's the next step of how that hotel can change it around? Just not for themselves, even though it's something that was out of the hotel's situation, but for as the destination that they're traveling to, because now coming back of being like, oh, I don't like going through Charlotte on connecting, is now I'm going to say that to other people and say, wow, Charlotte really, I had a situation and then they were able to make it better. But anywho, so another WTF moment then goes, here we are of leaving a hotel, and I store my luggage and I get the luggage back. And once again, one of my babies got broke, and they somehow, when the bellman was, we'll just assume, throwing the luggage onto the rack of
Just assume.
storage.
They throw your
Allegedly.
baby.
Allegedly. And then it broke my handle to where the handle wouldn't even go down anymore. So here it is, all wonky, delivered it to me, and being like, okay, well, when you get home, just get a new one, and then send us the receipt and reimburse, and that's it. Like, no genuine care of realizing, or they're just assuming that I'm going home. Here I am, I travel for life. Like, my home is the hotel and the airport. I'm not going to see another store until probably for another 6 weeks. Thank God Amazon was just starting to come out and being able to get a new suitcase delivered, but then also too all the headache that I had to deal with at the airport of trying to get my suitcase onto the plane because the handle wouldn't go down, and all the other headaches that just kind of led into one thing after another. And here the hotel was just like, oh, just send us a receipt and we'll be done with it. It's, not knowing all the other steps that I had to deal with because of their mistake, and assuming, oh, I'll just be going home. Nope. Sorry to say I'm not. And I'll be back at your hotel again to give you a nice little rating.
But that's the thing. It is so simple to take care of
Yes.
things from a genuine perspective, right?
Yes.
In a human way, knowing that
Yeah.
the other person is going to go through some troubles and headaches and the stress factor of, if being on the road and forgetting your belt and having to think about, and now I have to go find a belt, right? Imagine like your luggage breaking or your luggage not even making it and
Yep.
no one cares,
No.
right? So
No.
it, it blows my mind how truly there is no streamlined process as to how
Yeah.
to deal with situations like that. We had one of our first episodes where we talked about a valet attendant who gave the wrong car to a
Yeah.
guest, right? And all the documents that were inside that car that guest needed for that meeting that he had traveled to. So it's just crazy how things happen and
Yeah.
how we are missing out on those opportunities. So, that's
Yeah.
what we're here for. We are here
Yes.
to bring these areas of opportunity to light, to make it work so that we can start training our team members the way we're supposed to be training them. So
Absolutely. And stop having the blinders on. And I think that's what a lot of, when these unfortunate situations happen, let's admit it's going to happen. Unfortunately, you just don't know when or who it's going to be. And, it's turned out that more of the staff now is very like in the moment and not thinking of the bigger picture, and just seeing how fast can I get this guest out in front of me where they are talking to me.
literally.
And then they decide to like be quiet as well. And there's situations where you need to be upfront and honest and let the guests know of being this is the expectation. Unfortunately, your room's not ready, or the airline, yes, we lost your luggage. We're trying to find it. This is our steps of process, and making sure also too, like, here I go to Charlotte and I go, okay, are you going to be taking my suitcase out? I know everywhere else, like, you usually, it's 9 times out of 10 they're not taking your luggage off of the flight unless it's some kind of major mechanical, or you're spending the night there because of bad weather or something is happening. It's usually like, well, that suitcase is going to beat you to wherever you're going and you're just going to have to deal with it. But like, making sure the staff knows, okay, is this something that we can do, or is this something that's against our policies and standards?
Absolutely, absolutely. And then having that little extra something that your guest can leave with, not
Yes.
just, the apology, but something to make them feel more comfortable until the issue is resolved.
Yep,
You
or
just
one of the many.
For sure.
Here you may be 20, 30 of 30 people that with no suitcase, or no car available at the rental place because your flight got in delayed so late. But how are you going to make all 20 of those people feel like they're the one that you're going to be taking care of, when really you're trying to take care of all 20 of them at the same time, but not making them feel like you're herding the cattle.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Totally. I feel like we could talk about airlines forever.
I
Let's just
know.
do one episode all about airlines.
Yes,
We have
yes,
to.
yes. But as the hotels, we do have to rely on them for other hospitality businesses, because they do get the guests from point A to point B, so we can fill those hotels. But yes, those airlines, they're very special.
Very special. Well, this was great. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for enlightening us with the stories of your missing babies
Yes.
and then some. Thanks, everyone, for listening and for being on the other side. And we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.